Scarlett sells apples and oranges at the farmer's market. Originally, 1/5 of the fruit were red apples and the rest were oranges. A bit later, her brother added some green apples to the pile of fruit. After this change, 1/4 of the fruit were apples and the rest were oranges. What fraction of the apples were green apples? Let's highlight parts of the sentence that are considered important. Let's highlight this sentence or change the color of the sentence to green. And let's change the color of this sentence to blue. Okay. The green sentence tells me originally 1/5 of the fruit were red apples and the rest were oranges. That allows me to conclude that for every one apple, there were 4 oranges. So let's put it here. And these are just apples. And these are oranges. So the green sentence allows me to conclude this. So for every one apple, she had 4 oranges, and that would make 1/5 of the fruit red apples. At this point, she didn't have any green apples. And you really want to pause here and reflect and make sure you understand how the picture I drew is connected to the green sentence. Now, having done that, now we're going to work on the blue sentence. After this change, what is the change? Her brother added some green apples, and there were no green apples in the original scenario. After this change, 1/4 of the fruit were apples and the rest were oranges. Now, this is very, very important. If 1/4 of the fruit were apples, now I can say in the new case, for every one apple, there were 3 oranges. So you have to make that translation. 1/4 of the fruit were apples. Of course, this time it doesn't say green apples or red apples. They're just saying apples. So the blue sentence allows me to conclude that whatever the total number of oranges is, 1/3 of that would be apples, and apples would include green and red apples. The catch is it's not so easy to split 4 rectangles, and this is what I mean. It's not so easy to split this into 3 equal parts. What's a good way to do it? Let's try it. A good way to do it would be to go back and split each cell for orange into 3 parts. Sliver is 1/3 of a cell. I'm going to split everything into 3 parts, and might as well go ahead on top and do the same for apples. Now, the cuts that I have made, I'm going to change the color of those cuts a little bit. The cuts are light blue. It's a little hard to see on orange, but I hope we can tolerate it. I don't want to use green because I'm going to use green for green apples. Now, how many slivers do I have for the oranges? I have 12 slivers. 1/3 of 12 is 4. So I better have 4 slivers. I better have 4 slivers representing the apples. I already have 3 slivers representing the red apples. I just need 1 sliver to represent the green apples. And let's see how we can do it properly. Let's make a full rectangle. And in this kind of a problem, the process is very important. It's not about getting the answer right. It's about following the process and understanding every single step. I'm going to go back. Okay, going back to our main problem. After the green apples were added, the question says 1/4 of the fruit for apples. So, and we have discussed 2 seconds ago that if 1/4 is here, this has to be the 3/4. So if I have 12 slivers representing oranges, 1/3 of 12 is 4. I need to have 4 slivers representing the apples. Now I do have 3 slivers, 3 of the 4 slivers right over there. All I need to do is add 1 more sliver here. I'm going to make it green. If you just look at the original scenario, in the original scenario, 1/5 of this is red apples, and 1/4 of this are apples. So my picture is correct. So what do they want us to find? What fraction of the apples were green apples? Well, there are 4 equal parts representing the apples. One of them is green. So the answer has to be 1/4. See where I can write it. It doesn't say what fraction of the fruit. It says what fraction of the apples. That's my answer.